co-chairing with you, Assistant Secretary General, heads and other representatives of the United Nations and UN agencies, heads and representatives of CARICOM institutions and associate institutions, welcome. Colleagues all, I welcome you all to the CARICOM Secretariat for the convening of the 10th General Meeting of the Caribbean Community, its associated institutions, and the United Nations system. This year's meeting marks the 10th anniversary of biennial meetings between CARICOM and the United Nations, the first of which was held in 1997 in New York. Since that very first meeting, and over the course of global and regional geopolitical shifts and institutional reforms on both sides, I am pleased to say that dialogue and cooperation between us progressed steadily. Increasingly, we are cooperating in more numerous and diverse areas in promotion of the growth and development of the community and in support of the improved welfare of its people. At our 9th General Meeting in 2017 in New York, we sought to strengthen further our existing partnership and to maximize progress in priority areas of cooperation amidst an international background of increasing uncertainty and unpredictability, and in coordination with the UN's newly operational multi-country sustainable development framework. 2 months later, that cooperation was called urgently into action in very extreme circumstances as several member states of the community suffered unprecedented destruction as a result of Hurricanes Irma and Maria. His Excellency Antonio Guterres, Secretary General of the United Nations, bore personal witness to the devastation in a visit weeks after to Antigua and Barbuda and Dominica. The relief efforts and support of the institutions of the United Nations system and the international community were invaluable and paved the way for the response to the CARICOM UN High-Level Pledging Conference in November 2017 in New York. And I am aware that you continue to engage, I think, especially in Dominica and some of the other countries. 2 years later, as another hurricane season commences, not having yet fully recovered from the devastation of Hurricanes Irma and Maria, the threat of climate change hangs heavy in our consciousness. As the severity of Hurricanes Irma and Maria demonstrated, there is need for continued advocacy for urgent and enhanced climate action to limit global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees centigrade above pre-industrial levels, since global warming poses an existential threat to our community. At our recently concluded regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM in July of this year in St. Lucia, member states in the CASTRI's call for collective commitment and action on sustainable development expressed concern that climate change, increased natural disasters, biodiversity, and environmental degradation, coupled with economic and social shocks, could render the community's development untenable. Over the next 2 days, we will discuss cooperation in some of these and many other important areas of economic and sustainable development for CARICOM, including debt sustainability and financing for development, which will touch on issues of blacklisting and withdrawal of correspondent banking relations. We'll also discuss crime and security, SIDS and the 2030 Development Agenda, youth and human resource development, food security, agriculture and fisheries, and non-communicable diseases, HIV/AIDS, and pandemics, to name a few. And I say a few, that means you have a long agenda. The issue of human mobility brought about by the increased flows of migrants into member states of the community will also be discussed for the first time in this forum, as well as post-disaster displacement. The challenges and economic constraints that impede the sustainable development of small island developing states were well recognized by Secretary General Guterres at the 40th regular meeting of the Heads of Government in St. Lucia earlier this month. He expressed his determination to bring more resources to strengthen UN support to SIDS and called on this 10th General Meeting to review the cooperation between our organizations, explore areas where the reform effort can deliver greater dividends, and where the UN and CARICOM can expand our fruitful cooperation. With much appreciation for the strong support of the Secretary General, and in the face of these increasing challenges, our member states remain firm in the resolve for the sustainable development of the Caribbean region. We are agents of that resolve as we seek to build on the strong foundation of partnership established between CARICOM and the UN system to effect improved development results. It is a partnership that the member states of CARICOM rely on, one that has become more effective in our coordination and implementation, one that will continue to evolve in response to changing needs and priorities, and one that on its 10th anniversary we can be proud of. As small states, there's an energetic push for the realization of the regional integration movement and its objectives. This is in support of a stronger and more resilient community, and in response to the weakening of multilateralism in the conduct of international relations, and an international system that is increasingly changing and challenging the sovereignty of small states. As this is the last year of the community's current 5-year strategic plan, we'll be moving into a new regional strategic plan for the period 2020 to 2024 to guide the community's activities towards sustainable growth, and for which effective partnerships, such as those with the UN system, will continue to be instrumental. It is my anticipation that the decade to come will be one of not only continued change, but rapid change. As it represents a critical point for the region, it is my hope also that it will be one of action for the accelerated implementation of climate objectives, the Sustainable Development Goals, and the commitments made in the Addis Ababa Action Agenda. Moreover, it is my earnest wish that the new decade would become one of innovation in addressing the specific challenges and vulnerability of small island developing states. I look forward to this 10th General Meeting as a springboard for the convergence that we seek in addressing global sustainable development issues, and as a testament to the longevity of our partnership and our commitment to leaving no one behind. I once again welcome you and wish you a very productive meeting, and I thank you.